The hunt is on for a Central Michigan University student accused of murdering his mom and dad on campus. A community still on edge tonight as police try to track down a killer now 14 hours later.
My daughter screamed a few minutes later and said that the victims were the parents, and I felt like the wind was knocked out of me.
A family ripped apart from the inside. Co-workers and neighbors of the CMU shooting victims say they're shocked by this tragedy.
And a well-timed weekend warm-up is ahead of us. We'll tell you what part of your weekend is the warmest.
Live, local, breaking news. You're watching News Channel 3, live at 11.
A million calls, a million texts from my parents, from my friends, and across all the campus.
We just actually saw 4 looked like soldiers in our backyard, and then we come outside and I see an armored military truck. I see a bunch of different groups walking around.
My mom is worrying, my dad was worrying, they just want me to make sure I get home.
Panic in Mount Pleasant. Shots are fired from inside a dorm building at Central Michigan University early this morning, killing 2 people. Central Michigan police confirmed tonight that James Davis Sr. and his wife, Diva Davis, were shot and killed in Campbell Hall. Their son, 19-year-old James Davis Jr., is accused of pulling the trigger, and Michigan State Police say the gun he used belonged to his father. Davis Jr. is still on the run at this hour. Police have now expanded their search outside of the CMU campus to essentially all of Mount Pleasant.
Meanwhile, Michigan State troopers statewide are also on high alert. News Channel 3's Mike Krafsick is live tonight in Mount Pleasant, where police are tracking a killer. Mike.
Okay, Nandy, right now by the dorm, things have kind of cooled off, but police are staked out all over this town in an effort to catch this killer. From the sky and on the ground, Mount Pleasant looked like a military zone tonight.
Usually you hear something like that up in big cities, but in a town like Mount Pleasant.
Tactical units continued to canvass neighborhoods near the railroad tracks where James Davis Jr. was last seen, shortly after police say he killed his parents.
So we're encouraging people, if they see Mr. Davis, to please do not approach him. We can consider him to be armed and dangerous at this point.
Officers went door to door, even searching basements and attics. Mount Pleasant police are reminding people to stay inside tonight.
We wanted to make sure everybody here was safe and we weren't being held against our will.
Checked all the closets, came in here, checked the living room.
With a newborn at home, Jerry Fick didn't want to take any chances.
For something like that to happen around here, it's a small town.
Local businesses closed early tonight. Some schools were on lockdown. This small town turned upside down.
The city buses were stopped. Everything came to pretty much a screeching halt. Quite disturbing to know that something like this actually happened.
The search will continue into the night. State troopers from all over the state have been sent up here and are helping with the search effort. Live in Mount Pleasant, Mike Krafsick, News Channel 3.
James Davis touched everybody's lives in the village of Bellwood in a positive manner.
As police in Michigan investigate the Davises' deaths, their hometown of Bellwood, Illinois, is mourning their loss. The Davises are from the Chicago area, where James Davis Sr. was a part-time police officer. We've learned he was a civic-minded man who served both his community and his country.
This has been one of the toughest days for the village of Bellwood in many years.
With a heavy heart, the mayor of Bellwood, Illinois, told reporters James Davis Sr. was a pillar in the community and a true friend. The Iraq War veteran and his wife Diva were both shot and killed this morning while picking up their son from his college campus. Police believe their son, James Davis Jr., pulled the trigger.
My daughter screamed a few minutes later and said that the victims were the parents, and I felt like the wind was knocked out of me because it's a tragic loss, and just never would have suspected from that family.
Beautiful couple. The son too. I never knew any problems. If it was problems, it was kept within the family. And I'm shocked, man. I'm shocked.
And he isn't the only one. The Bellwood Police Department, where James Davis Sr. spent the last 20 years, is providing grief counselors to officers and to the village he served.
James was a close personal friend of mine, as well as many other officers on the police department. He will truly be missed.
According to Diva Davis's Facebook page, she was self-employed and worked as a real estate broker in the Chicago area. And the victim's daughter and suspect's sister, Alexis Davis, wrote this on Twitter just after 3 o'clock this afternoon, quote, "Today I lost my parents, the only people that loved me unconditionally. I'm thankful for every single thing they've done for me. All I ask is for everyone to keep me and the rest of my family in your prayers."
The CMU Police Department is responding to a report of shots fired. At this time, please shelter in place where you are.
Today's shooting triggered a campus-wide lockdown at CMU. State troopers and police from CMU, Mount Pleasant, also the Saginaw Chippewa Tribe and Isabella County deputies all swarmed that area with more than 100 officers on the ground. Helicopters have been in the air all day trying to find the suspected gunman, again, 19-year-old James Davis Jr. Friends of Davis Jr. say they're still in shock.
I mean, he seemed fine, like we said, like always cheerful, smiling. You see him in the cabs, be cool. Like, I don't know, never seen nothing.
I'm scared that he's gonna do something more stupid, given that the situation that he's in, and it does worry me and all of his friends around him.
So many thousands are worried tonight, including the young man joining me by phone, CMU sophomore Christian Heinzelman, who is from Kalamazoo and a Loy Norix grad. Christian, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, listen, first of all, we want to say how thankful we are that you're all right and how sorry we are that this happened. Can you tell me what your experience was today, what you saw and heard, and where you were locked down?
So I was locked down about 2 blocks away. I live in Herrig Hall, and the Towers is just on the same road down the road. And about 8:50 this morning, I hear a bunch of sirens coming down my street. And then about 10 minutes, or not 10, like 5 minutes later, I get a call saying that there's been there's been shots fired. And I'm getting texts from my friends saying what's going on. And we're hearing, I actually have a friend who lives in the dorm where the incident happened, and we're trying to get a hold of her, making sure that she's okay. And we're getting told that we can't leave the building at all. We should just stay in our room, lock our doors.
Yeah. And you were there, Christian, for how many hours locked in your own dorm?
I was in my own dorm from about 9 a.m. or when I woke up, 8:50, until about 1:15 when we were told that we can walk to our dining hall and get some food if we haven't ate anything.
And now you're safely back home, and we're grateful for that. I understand you didn't know James Davis Jr. Do you know much about him?
I don't know anything from what I've seen on the news that he was quiet. I had a friend who had a class with him, and she said that he was quiet, but that's about it.
Well, last question for you at this juncture. I guess, can you describe how you're feeling now? It's been about 14 hours since this happened.
Yeah, right now I'm a little bit, I just want them to find the guy. Honestly, because I have a friend who's still in the dorms right now, and it's just kind of nerve-wracking knowing that feeling that he's there. And throughout the entire day, I felt like it was just really scary just knowing that he's out there, and I just want them to find the guy. And even at home right now, I'm like really nervous and anxious.
Yeah, I think that's very understandable. All right, we hope they find him very soon. And again, we're glad you're home and safe. CMU sophomore Christian Heinzelman, we appreciate that. Well, today was the last day before CMU spring break, and because of that, many students were not on campus today. Those who were there were immediately told, as we heard Christian describe, to shelter in place. This video is from a cafeteria. Students there were told to get away from the windows and to take shelter until they could be safely evacuated. These videos shot around campus today give us another glimpse of the panic at CMU. They show heavily armed SWAT teams, National Guard members, and state police helicopters searching frantically for the gunman. All classes at CMU were canceled shortly after this morning's shooting.
Police say they took James Davis Jr. to the hospital last night for a possible drug-related incident. He returned to the Central campus this morning, and the school sent out a shots-fired emergency alert around 9 a.m. Governor Snyder made an emergency trip to Mount Pleasant from Lansing this afternoon. He held a press conference with police and CMU President George Ross.
But the hurting will go on for a while. and we'll do whatever is necessary. When today is gone and the cameras aren't here anymore, there'll be students on our campus and faculty and staff members suffering from the incident that happened today.
We were already active looking at what we can do on our campuses and our schools to protect people better. This reinforces the point. This is not simply about K-12. This is an outstanding university, and we need to include our campuses, our universities and community colleges, and how we can do more to help protect our students and our staff. So this will be an ongoing dialogue. We won't have all the answers today. What I can tell you is there's a commitment to do what's right.
Governor Snyder also spoke about his own experience with a school shooting while he was a college student at the University of Michigan.
I'm a father, I've got kids. I lived through one of these events myself back in 1981 when I was the student. So this is something that is going to affect them the rest of their school year in some fashion. So we need to be here today to support them, and we need to make sure we have counseling resources and other ways to follow up for an extended period of time.
Governor Snyder says the state is focused on supporting CMU students, staff, and the Mount Pleasant community in any way it can.
Well, many college kids here in West Michigan have friends or family members at CMU. News Channel 3's Anna Giles spoke to students and staff at Kalamazoo College tonight. She is live at K with their reaction. Anna.
That's right, Andy. Some students here spent the day texting their friends at CMU asking them if they were okay. Staff here say they are very disturbed by this shooting and are reminding students how to be safe while living and going to class here on campus. Students at Kalamazoo College monitoring a shooting at Central Michigan University all day.
2 friends of mine go there. I just texted them to make sure they're okay. They were, thank goodness.
The shooting happened in a campus dorm, which hits home for Ray Zhao, who lives in a dorm on the K College campus.
Our professor was so sad about this news, and then and we had a lot of students. They still talk about their friends in CMU, and then they almost crying.
Dean of Students Sarah Westfall also impacted by today's events.
The daughter and granddaughter of a very good friend of mine are currently sheltering in place. One works there, one is a student there, and they're on lockdown. And it's hard for me to think of people I care about being in a situation like that.
Westfall says campus security is a top priority at K College, and guns are banned on campus. Getting into a dorm room requires multiple keys.
They're locked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Students who live in there can access them by an electronic swipe card system.
K College frequently does safety training with new students focused on responding to an active shooter.
What's your plan? How do you get out of the office? Where are you going to shelter? Where are you going to hide? What are you going to do to barricade?
The Dean of Students says the college also has a text alert system that warns students of active police scenes right near campus. We did reach out to Western Michigan University trying to learn more about their safety procedures, but did not hear back. Live in Kalamazoo, Anna Giles, News Channel 3.
Well, Congressman Fred Upton is part of a bipartisan group of lawmakers tasked with reducing gun violence. He says he will vote yes on a Senate bill to expand background checks if it passes. But he also says he wants to do more than that. Today in Kalamazoo, he told us kids can't learn if they don't feel safe, and something has to be done.
You know, these kids are defenseless. And the last thing you want, you know, particularly as a parent, is that they feel threatened in some way.
One more look now at the person police are looking for tonight. James Davis Jr. He is 19 years old, about 5'9", 135 pounds. He was last seen wearing yellow jeans and a blue hoodie. Police say he is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not approach him. Call police right away.
News Channel 3 is following every development of this deadly shooting at CMU. Check in with our morning team tomorrow from 6 till 8 a.m. for the very latest information. And in the meantime, be sure to download our free News Channel 3 mobile app for updates as they come in overnight. And as always, depend on our website, wwmt.com, for continuing coverage.
Andy, thanks. 28 degrees in Kalamazoo on a late Friday night. There is snow in your 7-day forecast, and more than once we'll tell you when. You're watching News Channel 3 live at 11.